all the key stakeholders. And the audience are the people who have just completed the University Learning Neighbourhood project. Now, while the lectures are given by people from the university, they are aimed at community, and they don't get certificates in terms of accreditation or anything like that. They get certificate of attendance. So it's a non-formal education process. But what I wanted to indicate in the photograph as well, again, you can see it's in the library, it's in the city library. And again, this is an open space, a welcoming space for everybody, young and old. And while we are there at the presentation, people were coming and going around us in terms of using the library in the normal way. I also want to point out that the Lord Mayor of the city, well, obviously is a very busy person, but agreed to come to be part of that ceremony and spoke at the ceremony because the city sees this as an important project for its citizens. I just wanted to know very briefly to speak about two little projects that demonstrate, I suppose, the connection between formal and non-formal learning and intergenerational learning. The first one is around what is called the Arts and Crafts Group. The Arts and Crafts Group is a group of women who are mostly retired women who have expertise in traditional arts and crafts. And they work with a secondary school in their neighbourhood, in the Ballyfihan Learning Neighbourhood. And they work with what we call transition year. Transition year is the fourth year of high school, and it's a sort of a year which is less focused academically. It gives the students do some academic work, but they also do a lot of projects, community projects, work-based projects, work placements, all of those kinds of things. But what's interesting here is that the project is ostensibly about the women coming into the class to work with these teenage girls to offer them skills around arts and crafts. But what in reality happens is an intergenerational exchange. The women and the girls engage around other things, around their social lives, around their education, around their own lives, and all of those things. And it has what I would describe as a bridging the bookend generations. So in Ireland, the idea of the nuclear family is a very prominent model. So people very often don't live with their grandparents or extended relatives. This way, young people get an opportunity to engage with older people on an ongoing basis. So these women, in a sense, became almost like surrogate grandparents. So the women are older women. They are products themselves of intergenerational learning, and they practice intergenerational learning. And they have an opportunity for intergenerational exchange. And that's quite interesting. And I interviewed both the women and the girls. And it's very clear from both sides that they were very much involved in an exchange across the generations and learning things from each other, realizing things about different generations, and so on. Schoolgirls were teenage girls. They're in formal education. They're in a secondary school. It's a school that I would say is in a marginal community in the sense that it's socioeconomically disadvantaged. For many of those girls, there's a temptation for them to leave school early, not to complete their second level education. And it's interesting that the older women actually did that themselves because they had no choice. And they were very strong advocates for the girls to stay in education and explaining to them why this was important. Now, the girls obviously learned lots from the women, but they also taught the older women lots of things. So there was a lot of intergenerational exchange. Now, one of the things which I think was really important, and I just wanted to highlight this, is this intergenerational recognition. So this is what happens outside of the context. This is where the women and the girls interact with each other in non-formal contexts outside on buses, in supermarkets, on the street, etc. So the idea of recognition is important. So the girls recognize the older women when they meet them out and about, and that recognition gives the older women a sense of worth. They get valued. And I notice, for instance, this is a very, very important aspect of Indonesian life. I can see this very, very, very much so, where people are very respectful of older people and they give recognition to older people. But this is something that's not so common or not so embedded in the culture in Ireland. So it's really, really important. But for the teenagers too, it's important. The older women will see the teenagers out and about and they will address them and speak to them. And that's important for the teenagers because it shows that the older generation respect them and recognize them. So all of the neighborhood gains a dividend from this. It's a more cohesive, more holistic environment for everybody, and everybody feels better and everybody contributes more. Then the other project, which I just want to talk about very briefly, is in what we call a daycare center. Now, a daycare center is a place where retired people, some of these will be quite elderly, will come for a day. They're living at home with their families, and then they will come here to socialize with other older people and also to give their families some respite in the sense of, that they don't have to care for the people on the day. But it's also about giving social context to the lives of the older people. They developed a project called Touching Tales, and this was led by an artist, and it's an art project which is intergenerational. A lot of the older people would suffer from dementia, for instance, and photos were used for helping them to remember things from their past. And at the end, there was an art exhibition and a book, because the young people and the older people worked together on a piece of art, which was included in the book. They had to agree on the topic, and they had to agree on which piece of their art would go into the book. So it was very much an intergenerational project. So for the older men and women, it's a chance for them to remember and to share. And I use the word speed dating there because speed dating is a kind of a concept that we're more used to. But the idea of speed dating is that you get to talk to somebody very, very quickly, and then you move on to talk to somebody else. And we use it as a way of getting people to work in partnership on different projects. So here, the young people and the older people would have a quick chat. They talk to each other for maybe a minute or two, then they would move on to talk to another older person and so on. And then through this process, they would agree who was going to work with each other. And then they would agree to work with each other over the entire project. Now, this developed from, very low level, I suppose, engagement up to quite strong bonds and quite strong relationships and friendships between the young people and the older people. And it also led to a collaborative teamwork between the two. They had to work together to create the piece of art. So the transition year boys and girls, but in this project, boys were more prominent than girls, interestingly. The boys were more actively engaged in this project than girls were, which was a bit of a surprise to everybody. They are fourth year in high school, and that they have as part of their transition year to get involved in a community project, and this is a community project that they chose. And I suppose that what happened really is over time, the older person and the younger person became really good friends. So there's intergenerational recognition here as well. It proved to be a significant experience for both groups. So the young people very much look forward to engaging with the older person, but the older people did as well. And I can tell you anecdotally, a friend of mine, his father was involved in this, and I met him and his wife in the supermarket, as it happens, one day, and I mentioned to them about the project, and they said, my father, who at the time was in a wheelchair because one of his legs had been removed, was well into his 80s, and they said the thing that keeps him going, the thing he looks forward to most every week, is that project. So they shared recognition, they worked with each other, and again, there's a neighborhood dividend. But one very small, interesting anecdote in terms of the intergenerational learning is that the boys were very interested in anime and these Japanese, cartoons, drawing them and making them. But they had very poor penmanship because they didn't learn to use pen and ink when they were at school. The older people did. So the older people actually helped the young people to pick up their penmanship skills. So that was another unintended, I suppose, outcome of it. So that's all I'm going to talk about. I realize the time is very, very limited, and I just wanted to go through that very, very quickly. And I'm happy to answer questions or whatever if people want to know a little bit more about the project.
Yes, please applause for Dr. Seamus Otuama. Thank you. Before we open the Q&A session, I would like to welcome some scholars from the chief of Ikatan Pendidikan Non-Formal Informal, Professor Dr. Gunarti from Surabaya State University, and also the head departments non-formal from other universities as well. All right. Before we open the Q&A session, I would like to highlight some of Professor Dr. Otuama's presentation about learning neighborhood. So the learning neighborhood usually happens in public library. So it happens in all spaces so that anyone can join. And then they also can learn from all stakeholders. And it is integral to Learn City, which is supported by the university, and also because Cork is one of the UNESCO's learning city, so there are so many projects happens in the learning neighborhood.
Can I just interrupt just for 1 second? Our consultations are primarily in the libraries, and a lot of events are in the libraries, but the activities happen in all kinds of community contexts. So they happen in local learning centers, they happen in community centers, they happen in all kinds of places. So it's not just in the library. Just because I probably didn't make that sufficiently clear when I spoke. Sorry about that.
It's all right. So basically in public places it happens. Right. Yes. Thank you. Doctor, for the Q&A sessions, Ms. Puji said that the Q&A session will be like after the other presenters. Is that okay?
That's fine. That's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Yes. Thank you so much. So you can keep the questions for Dr. Otuama's session. So we can move on to our second presenters. Dr. Gumpanat Boribun. Yes. Please allow me to read your brief CV for Dr. Gumpanat. So Dr. Gumpanat maintained his keen interest in the areas of international relations, youth activities, adult education, and exchange programs in ASEAN during his career as lecturer in the Department of Adult Education and Lifelong Education in Srinakarinwirot University in Bangkok. In his 20 years, he has initiated many successful training projects in adult education and non-formal education. Currently, he is one of the lecturer of graduate program for master and doctoral students at Srinakarinwirot University, advising students in their research in adult education and community service. He has published many research and academic articles, as well as in lifelong learning policy, adult learning and education, and non-formal and informal education. Dr. Gumanat also served as president of Srinakarinwirot Scout Club in Thailand, which brings him to many parts of Thailand working with young underprivileged people. So everyone, please welcome Dr. Gumpanat Boribun.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank Faculty of Education, University Negeri Yogyakarta to invite me to be as a seminar today. In fact, I would like to meet Professor Selmus, but Professor Selmus have the others program in Jakarta. Maybe we have meet it online via Zoom. And I saw in the Zoom, I also have like my regarding from many department of non-formal education in many university, and thank you very much again, and for all students come to be here. I would like to share my presentation about the situation about of adult learning and education in Thailand. Maybe is that quite maybe after you listen or after my session, maybe have to compare with how to be work together with adult education or non-formal education in Thailand. Nowadays, we have to talk about adult learning education, and the second one is we talk about the Office of Non-Formal and Informal Education, that the main organization who charge of non-formal education in Thailand. And now we change the roles to Office of Department of Learning Encouragement in just now, just 6 months. That maybe we have to change. No more non-formal Department of Non-Formal and Informal Education in Thailand right now. So we have to change to be learning encouragement is maybe including the all learnings type in Thailand. And for me, 3 years ago, I also be here as a visiting professor with the Department of out of school program, and it's my great pleasure to be here again after COVID, and also here in the same period in the November and December each year. Okay, just I would like to brief about the situation and briefly in about adult education and learning adult education and adult learning education in Thailand. So we start from 1903. The we call from adult education until now 1990s until 1997. We change to adult education to serve for adult citizens in Thailand. Yes. Yeah. In I think in the same with Indonesia during this year, that year 1973, we have first start the name of adult education, established adult education division under the Office of Permanent Secretary in Thailand. But until now, only my department we use the name of adult education. In Chulalongkorn, they changed to Department of Lifelong Education. In the others, only in Srinakharin Virod University, we still use like the old name, adult education. But in the degree, we also use like lifelong education in the same with Chulalongkorn University. The main reason in Thailand, we mainly to focus on the literacy program and at that time and basic education and vocational skill training for adult learners. And 1979, we also changed to Department of Non-Formal Education and to serve adult education and technology and the museum, the curriculum, the instruction from the under the department. Yes. Until 1999 in Thailand, we have the period to change. We have National Education Act. We put the adult education, lifelong education in the National Education Act in 1999. So, and next two. Okay. And 2003, we have to change again to offer the non-formal and informal education. We call ONIE. Maybe you have, if you learn or you have to finding, you will see ONIE, the organization in charge of adult education and adult learning in Thailand. But in fact, it's not juristic unit in after they change, but they have uh, to change again until 2003 until now. They change again, but at that time they have the promotion of non-formal and informal education act in 2008. We established the national and non-formal and informal education act for serve for the organization who work with the non-formal, informal, even like continuing education and adult education, so on. Okay. And this year, we change again. We change the act again. We have like a learning encouragement act in 2023. Yeah. And also we don't use like a non-formal and informal in the organization again. We have Department of Learning Encouragement, but including non-formal and informal in the department. Right now, when we ONIE no more use, but the people still like use like non-formal FE and ONIE, but the new one we try to change. Learning encouragement is the change learning type, not only non-formal, informal or formal, but also the extra more about the accreditation, the learning for the all age group in each organization. Next, please. So that's why nowadays in terms of non-formal and informal education, we change to learning encouragement, but still use like the philosophy of adult education, non-formal education too. I would like to move to like the education system. I think in Thailand, compare or when we learn more about the educational system, I think the same with Indonesia right now. We use like year school until I start from the elementary to higher education, 664 something. Yeah, the educational system mostly we serve for the formal education, but I would like to share in terms of non-formal education and informal education. And okay, yeah, I think you all of you in this meeting room have know more about the meaning of formal education, non-formal education, and informal education. We still use, but we try to change the other for the including the learning encouragement right now. Yes. Next. Okay. But for the adult learning and education, we still use like the basic curriculum, basic education core curriculum, the same with formal education, start from 2008. That means when we also have like right now we have a community learning center. We serve for the basic education for as a non-formal type of non-formal education type for the people who come to learn, and also we also use like a curriculum the same in the school, same the content with the formal education we use it in the same curriculum, and mainly we serve for the disadvantaged group, adults who lack of opportunity to in the formal school. And the second, we depend on the courses in learning as learning center, community learning center, and the group and the society. That's mean in the adult education right now in Thailand. We provide for the mainly we provide for the literacy program. Literacy program in Thailand, the statistic of the illiterate literacy now about around 96%. We have 4% for illiterate, but also we have another, I think, 2 million workers from borders who come to work, but they have to learn uh, Thai as a second language or literacy for them. The Department of Non-Formal Education or the Community Learning Center have provided Thai as a second language, just like a short process for the worker from Myanmar, from Laos, or from Cambodia, even from Vietnam, who come to work with company or the factory or the business in Thailand. So that's why in the literacy program not only serve for Thai people, but also serve for the worker or the who work from the borders cross the border to work in Thailand. In Thailand right now, mostly they use like a adult program, adult education program, and non-formal education program. We also have like CLC. Same with Indonesia, also have like CLC, community learning centers, to serve that for the non-formal the non-formal program and adult education who come to work to learn. We open the CLC have class only the holidays, Saturday or Sunday, only once a week for the people who come to learn. To meet the teacher or the facilitators in the community learning center. For the working day, they have to work or they have to do by themselves. They come to the class in the CLC only Saturday on Sunday. That's where mainly in the adult education, we serve for the first, mainly we serve for basic education. Second one, we serve for the vocational program. In CLC also provide the vocational program for the people who have to of the opportunity maybe or for the leisure, and the other one for the literacy promotion. That's why we also have program in Thailand right now. But mainly we serve like the people who disadvantaged, mainly for the basic education program. The other one I move to distance. Okay. We also have the distance program for the basic education. It's for people who cannot meet the teacher in the center. They can learn by themselves by distance program, like start from basic education until the bachelor degree. We also have open university. There's also the distance education. For serve for people. Right now we use Zoom, also distance education. It's one type of one platform for distance education, and also we support. We have allowed 3,000 students each year who learn in basic education via distance education. Yes. This I show you that the adult student come to the school. They use their like uniform, but here no uniform. Come to we use the shirt, the white shirt, and the black or blue color pants or skirts. That's why they come to once, but they have to wear uniform. And did I show you this one is some district learning center. They come to meet the facilitators and learn half day or one or all day program in once a week. And the other program the other program for the literacy that I informed that some the people for the elderly, the elderly people, uh, uh, they sometimes forgot how to write, how to read. Yeah, come back to class again. We established uh, elderly school, elderly school. Nowadays we have around 2,000 elderly school uh, for the short course support for the short courses for the elderly only. Not only come to talk to recreation, but sometimes they have come to learn some short courses. Is essential for the elderly, for health, for economics, for uh, social science, something like that. But that's only short courses. In the center, in the adult education center, also provide short courses for the elderly. Okay, next. Yeah, some program for the in the community learning center with like an occupation or the shortcut for the vocational such as like the for the uh, handicraft, for the hair design, something like that. It short courses we provided in the center, in the community learning center, and also the adult school, the adult student who would like to come, he come to be a student at the short courses. And these are most of them provided by the government, uh, the support, the budgeting, or maybe the facilitator or the instructor done by the government. But the skill training also necessary for the people to employ or the provide for the new job, the new pathway career, something like that. But they have to come to be like a work with to learn in the vocational vocational education school or the community learning center. And yeah, in the new policy for the skill development for like a for like an upskill or reskill for the adult educator, adult learner, adult people, uh, including the process. Or we have more than 10 uh, uh, organization who be like a player or when player in the adult education and learning in Thailand. Yes.
Semua elemen salah kita mantap.
For example, the life skill development program, the hygiene, the hygiene, and also the for the national resources and environment, for the moral and ethics and value and the attitudes for the to change the attitude for people. So yes, and the other one, the program we have like the community and social development to integrate the knowledge and the skill for the learner to together. Yeah, in these pictures, we were with the elderly person. That in my photos, we work with the elderly school for the community and social development to use like development and asset for the elderly in the communities. Because of in Thailand, the number of the elderly, the statistic of more than 20% of the people in Thailand are over 60 years old to be like a social in the aging society. We have to provide activity not only for adults but also for the older people, to the elderly in the community too. Yes. The other ones for the adult education in Thailand, we also have public library, but right now a few people come to the library, especially. I don't know here in Yogyakarta the number of the members of the library, the situation right now, how about the situation? But in Thailand or in some district, one in a week working there, a few person come to the library. Not only they come just for waiting for someone, not to read, but they're waiting. But maybe the situation right now is that still and maybe decrease of members of the library to decide the library to be like a community learning center or like a co-working space for the people in the community. And we also have like a national science education center is for informal education to support public with the knowledge in the science for the public. Yes. Okay. I would like to share more about the organization, not only the Department of Non-Formal Education or Informal Education or Department of Learning of Encouragement. We also have Office of Private Education Commission. We also have program for the non-formal school, non-formal school in the Office of Private Education, and also we have Vocational Education Commission. They do work like a policy with the adult educators, adult learners in the vocational program. Yes. We also have Ministry of Higher Education, Science and Research and Innovation for the university and community college. Next, Ministry of Defense also have like adult learning and education for the specific courses, and Ministry of Labor also have program for the workmanship. Yeah, these are the variety of the adult learning and education in Thailand, right? For the agriculture and cooperative also have like a farmer schools, cooperative school done for the people or for the cooperative, for the villages cooperative accounts, for example. And also we also have non-government organization, the NGOs. A lot of NGOs work with adult education or adult learning and adult education program. Because of the government cannot reach for the outreach people, maybe the NGO have provide and join with the community better than somehow better than the government. Yeah, we also have private organization like for the, for example, we also provide co-working space for the people. And also in Thailand, mostly we use like we have religious school, like the one of the non-formal program for the religious. We have the National of Buddhism. We have Buddhism school. They can learn the religious and both they can learn basic education, but only the guy, the man until they graduate. Even like 10% in Thailand also have like a product. Also we provide for the product is one of in Thailand one of the school. I don't know. Yes, one of the non-school in Thailand. We have around 1,000 product in 40 provinces. Not all Thailand, but we have 40 provinces. In half we serve for them like non-formal school only for the religious, and both now they both learn basic education until high school. And the other one, maybe some of master class they have. Dr. Sushan said like before we have like Hill tribe people who live in the Hill. We also have community learning center, especially for tribe people. Because the different they have no school at that area. We also establish community learning center for the people at that time. And next, yes, and then yeah, one in the policy in my pro opinion and my research, what next about when we talk about adult education program in Thailand? Yeah, we have I have like a 12 bullet for the learning promotion. We have to promote learning as well as lifelong learning, not only adult education but all ages group, to have to will provide learning activity, provide learning material for them. And the second one, the elementary education, we have to how to push them to 100% to be like a we go to the school, right? For compare with SDG for ensure for quality education and promote lifelong learning for all. The third one is lower secondary. Is a compulsory education in Thailand. You must be graduate compulsory education in lower secondary. Yeah, how to promote people to send their own children to be study until lower secondary. For the upper secondary, we also provide them formal school, and also we have the chance for alternative them way to be like a non-formal and informal school. The fifth is a big change of Thailand because of the government would like to promote or increasing of number of vocational students, but yeah, for adult education, how to increase the higher vocational certificate in Thailand is a quite a problem. Also, number six is the education for vocational. Also, we have how do we promote them for the learn by the vocational program. Number seven is learning for life skill. The eighth one is for the hill try that I show you. The number of the hill try people come, and the learning for sufficiency economy. This one of philosophy of the late the great king Bhumibol. For the we put in even like a formal school, non-formal school to learn the sufficiency economy. Yeah, and the number 10, number 11, or number 12 also what's next of us social community education, and also that like a training program that we have to increase the number of training program or for adult education program in Thailand. Yes, okay. That the photo, for some photos like for the non-formal education in the CRC. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, okay. I would like to share and this. Okay. Okay. Nowadays we also have for the non-formal and informal program, we also have the 77 provision non-formal and informal education provision, and also we have 900 district non-formal and informal education, and we also have 9,500 CLCs. Is a number not many is allowed. Yeah, maybe 9,500 CLCs. But one CLC only one teacher. We also have only 9,000 teachers. Not enough. Yeah, but we have 7,000 sub-district and 1,300 CLC and 700 center for the hill tribe. Totally, we also have 9,500 CLC. Yeah, one CLC have one teachers. but in my opinion, it's not enough. But okay, the situation right now, like how do we increasing the number of graduate people, graduate students mainly work with the CLC, or maybe we can reconstruct the CLC facilitator in each one CLCs. Yeah. Okay. We have this one. We have for the library, we have 70 provincial libraries and 70 around 800 libraries. But I think it's not enough. But nowadays we have to change the duty of the library to change not only lead and read inside, but we have some more activity serve for the lifelong learning program in each country in Thailand. So this is the list number or statistic or the situation right now. Compare with I asked Professor Puji how many your undergrad students. She said 100, more than 110. But in my department, each year we have 20, 5 times. Yeah, it's quite the situation. 20, we have also 20. Chulalongkorn also have 20. Totally, we have around 40 graduate, but compared with the same uh, in Indonesia, you have more uh, variety to work with adult education and non-formal education or informal education in your area. Yes, I think is that. Okay. After we change to Department of Learning and Engagement, we have some problem and some question. But the policy we also have work with all ages, all groups. We have flexible of method of learning, and we can accredit. We can use the various of learning program for the student. Yes, and this is the next step. We just change the policy just right now, and in my department also change the curriculum support and serve for the government to. We also change to lifelong education and adult education, lifelong education, not only non-formal education or informal education. So a big change in Thailand in the situation about adult education, adult learning. Yeah, I think it finished for my presentation right now. Thank you for the Q&A.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gumpanat. I would like to summarize the presentation. So Dr. Gumpanat explained about the adult learning and education in Thailand. Their focus includes programs their CLCs, so education for life skill development, education for community and social development, and also informal education. There's also organizations and networks involved in development of adult education. Dr. Gumanat also explained a little bit the step or the next for adult education program in Thailand. Bapak Ibu, if you have any questions, you can keep the questions for later. So for now, I would like to welcome our final speaker. So Dr. Sugito. So Dr. Sugito is the head lecturer of our school or non-formal education department in Yogyakarta State University. His expertise related to adult education. And Dr. Sugito has published a lot of fascinating articles. Dr. Sugito currently teaches philosophy, theory, and theory of non-formal education in the master's program. Dr. Sugito, when you're ready, the floor is yours.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Mbak Leti, for your time. Bapak dan Ibu dan teman-teman semuanya, and Mbak Leti. I think it is better that I present my idea with bilingual. Yes, I will present in English pointer of my idea, but the explanation I think it is better that I explain in bahasa Indonesia. So that's okay? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because when I look at Zoom, all of the participant are Indonesian. And the other objective is to make Mr. Gupanat confused with bahasa Indonesia. Yeah. Actually, he is our close friend, but actually, he is our competitor in football. Really? Yes. But unfortunately, in Asia football game, we will not meet Thailand. We will meet Vietnam and Korea, South Korea. Yeah? Yes. Okay. It's on two speaker that Mr. Tuana and Mr. Gubanat. Both of them present the empirical base about non-formal education. I would like to share my idea, but it is not based on empirical evidence, but based on literature review. Yeah, I would like to make a frame how should non-formal education face the challenging to the life. So I will give you overview what my idea. The first thing is what the challenge that we have in to the life, and what's the solution that non-formal education should do at one program, at one research that will be achieved with the two alternative solution. Jadi teman-teman, saya akan mencoba untuk menyajikan beberapa pemikiran bagaimana pendidikan non formal menghadapi berbagai tantangan-tantangan yang ada saat ini. Jadi saya akan menghadirkan what the challenging, apa tantangan-tantangan yang dihadapi, and what the solution that non formal education done. Apa solusi yang mungkin bisa dilakukan dari non formal education, and what the program dan program-program apa yang mungkin bisa dilakukan, dan kemungkinan the result of this program. Jadi ini frame yang ingin saya coba sampaikan, dan apa yang ini saya saksikan ini sudah saya share di fokus group discussion di PP Muhammadiyah, sehingga mudah-mudahan ini bisa melengkapi apa yang ada pada kita. Dan nanti di akhir saya akan coba menyampaikan small project with Pak Toh, one of sample of learning community. Mudah-mudahan ini bisa melengkapi. Oke. Ya. Actually, in our words, we have the big power that don't realize that there are many big power that influence our life. But that means the big power. The big power is ideology. Jadi di dalam kehidupan kita itu sebenarnya ada kekuatan yang begitu besar yang kita tidak menyadarinya. We don't realize it. That we have there are the many big power that influence our life. Jadi ideologi. Jadi ideologi inilah yang sebetulnya menjadi kekuatan terbesar dalam kehidupan kita hari ini. Dan itulah yang mempengaruhi semua hal yang ada di dalam kehidupan kita. Many ideology like socialism, nationalism, neoliberalism, and so on. And one the big problem that influence our lives right now is neoliberalism. Jadi neoliberalism inilah sebenarnya ideologi yang mempengaruhi, yang membentuk perilaku dalam kehidupan kita sehari-hari yang kita sendiri tidak menyadari. We don't realize it. Dan kita sudah terbawa oleh ideologi itu. Nah, kita lihat apa dampak dari neoliberalisme ini. What the impact of neoliberalism in our life? This is the characteristic of neoliberalism. It's like orientasinya to have. Jadi selalu berorientasi pada kehidupan keduniaan. Jadi neoliberalisme itu kan mencoba untuk apa? To get the benefit, ya, untuk bisa mendapatkan keuntungan yang sebesar-besarnya untuk apa? Untuk bisa memiliki keduniaan ini, ya, untuk memiliki banyak hal, atribut-atribut keduniawian ini. Kita tanya teman-teman sekolah sini, you take the course in this department, what the purpose? To get money? Or to give something with to the other, ya? Untuk mendapatkan uang atau untuk membantu orang. Saya kira lebih banyak to get the money. Yes, get the money. And we have adult learner in the back. Most of them are adult learner that come from many institutions like in tourism and also in community learning center. Yes, it's RPL. Yes. And the other thing that well, this is let me see. Yeah. And neoliberalism, how to say, it is emphasized on individual freedom. Jadi lebih menekankan pada kebebasan individual. Yes. And privacy. So the government are forced to not intern to the individual life or organizational life. Jadi yang dituntut di sini adalah bagaimana kebebasan individual itu harus tetap dijaga. Dan ini sebagai satu ciri dari karakteristik of neoliberalism, ini akan memengaruhi influence berbagai tatanan nilai yang ada di dalam masyarakat kita. Sehingga di sini yang bisa kita lihat beberapa nilai-nilai yang selalu diusung, yang selalu dicoba untuk dikembangkan, diantaranya di sini produktivitas. Jadi selalu dalam produktivitas. You have student, you have to finish your study in 3 years, in 2 years. Jadi semakin cepat itu semakin baik produktivitas with grade point 4 dengan IPK yang tinggi. Cepat tapi IPK-nya tinggi. Kuliahnya seperti apa? Nanti tidak usah dipikir. Kan gitu. Yang penting produktivitas, ayo cepat-cepat ya, kan gitu ya. Efisiensi. Ya satu kelas tidak usah banyak-banyak lah, 60 saja. Efisien gitu kan. Bagaimana kita memanfaatkan sumber daya yang ada itu menjadi lebih efisien. And competition. Jadi selalu berkompetisi terus begitu. Dan yang berikutnya adalah innovation selalu menekankan pembaruan-pembaruan yang ada supaya bisa menambah nilai tambah. Dan yang berikutnya adalah tidak kalah pentingnya adalah standarisasi. Dan saudara bisa lihat, you can see that standardization, it is obligation in every institution. Like in Thailand, I think standardization have to be done in every institution, not only in formal institution, but also on non-formal education. Yes, this is the influence of neoliberalism. And the other thing that is we know that including in education institution, commercialization. Ya. Jadi komersialisasi ini menjadi bagian yang tak terpisahkan dari kehidupan termasuk lembaga pendidikan. How much you have to pay for your courses in one semester. Nah, tidak perlu dijawab. Lalu apa yang berikutnya yang mempengaruhinya adalah ini semua nilai-nilai yang dikembangkan oleh Neolib ini akan mempengaruhi bagaimana perilaku masyarakat. It will influence the behavior, the attitude of the society, like hedonistic, contractual, impersonal relationship, individualistic, and social inequality. This is the condition that we have right now. Nah, bagaimana kondisi ini akan mempengaruhi ini influence on non-formal education. Jadi the influence is not only for our life itself, but also influence in non-formal education process. So we will see what the influence in non-formal education. We can see with the component of non-formal education, I divide into 3 parts. One is orientation, and the second is the program, and the third is management. This is nearly will influence in the third in the 3 component of non-formal education. Orientation. Kita lihat apakah ada pengaruh dalam orientasi dari pendidikan non-formal kita. What I mean in orientation is the purpose of education. Nanti kita lihat. We see that the purpose of education, non-formal education is like to develop spirituality, social, economic, and personality. This is minimally. And you can explore the other aspect of the purpose of non-formal education. Tetapi dari minimal 4 ini, itu yang paling ditekankan yang mana? Saya beri warna kuning. We highlight with the yellow color. It means that this is the most important in non-formal education right now. Jadi orientasi yang paling banyak sekarang ini dalam pendidikan non-formal itu untuk kepentingan ekonomi. So we move from social orientation to economy orientation. Yeah. Lalu bagaimana programnya? Di program ada 2. Tadi sudah disampaikan teman kita dari Thailand. Ada 2, skill and empowerment. Jadi 2 itu yang kalau kita bisa klasifikasi in the kind of program, life skill or practical knowledge or empowerment. How about management? How to manage the education process? Ada 2. There are 2 kind of management. One is standardization and the second is differentiation. Jadi ada dua pola yang selama ini ada, yaitu homogenisasi, semuanya dibuat sama dengan standarisasi. Yang kedua adalah dengan diferensiasi. Diferensiasi apa? Berarti itu disesuaikan dengan masing-masing kebutuhan, sesuai dengan kondisi masing-masing lembaga. Nah, kita lihat kecenderungan sekarang seperti apa. Oke. If we see what happen in the field of non-formal education, maka ada dua orientasi dari pendidikan non formal. There are two kind of model of approach of non-formal education. One is adaptation and the second is transformation. Jadi yang pertama itu sebatas menyesuaikan. Adaptasi itu berarti menyesuaikan terhadap tuntutan-tuntutan di neolib tadi. Neolib minta apa? Itu yang kita lakukan. Minta tenaga kerja, kita buat tenaga kerja. Jadi semua yang kita lakukan itu secara relatif itu mengarahnya ke situ. Bagaimana kita bisa support terhadap kebutuhan-kebutuhan dari neolib itu. It is adaptation. Jadi hanya just menyesuaikan terhadap tuntutan-tuntutan yang ada di dalam lingkungan kita. Maunya apa kita berikan. Tetapi yang kedua, in the second type of program is transformation. It is not only adjust to the need of the big boss, ya, tidak hanya sebatas untuk meneladani dari industri neolib dan seterusnya, akan tapi ini mencoba untuk mentransform, to transform, to change, ya, the condition of our community, ya, coba untuk merubah kehidupan ini, ya, tidak sebatas menyesuaikan terhadap apa yang terjadi, akan tapi mencoba untuk melakukan perubahan bagaimana seharusnya kehidupan ini harusnya terjadi. Dan ini nanti akan berpengaruh pada 3 komponen yang tadi kita sampaikan. Orientasinya akan berbeda. Adaptasi, adaptation, orientation. Sementara kalau orientasi transformasi itu lebih pada humanization. In the second type of approach, transformation is humanization. Lalu programnya seperti apa? Nah, kalau adaptasi, adaptation, the program is a practical and technology. Lebih ke sana, life skill and so practical knowledge. So what to get the job, to get the money. Jadi apapun yang dilakukan di non-formal education is just to get the money. Tetapi untuk transformation, it is not practical, but it is emancipatory. To involve the participation, to involve the subject, to engage the community in this program. And the management, as I told before, that adaptation will use standardization, homogenization of the management. Di mana saja, maka menggunakan standar yang sama. Salah satu contohnya adalah accreditation. Jadi akreditasi it is one type of neoliberalism. Jadi kalau teman-teman itu terlibat di akreditasi, yaitu sebagai tangan kanan dari neolib. Dan yang di belakang itu pelaku-pelaku itu, ya, kita tidak sadar. We don't realize that we use neolib perspective in our life. So if we choose the transformation approach, so the management, we will use differentiation, not homogenization, not standardization. So not based on accreditation, yeah. No, there is no homogenization in the process of management. So the question is, can both of the approach be combined? Can we combine adaptation and transformation? Yeah, it is the question. So you have to answer this question, because we have already in adaptation process. We know in the adaptation process, most of the program that we have right now in adaptation process. But we know that the adaptation process, adaptation approach, they have many problem in our life. Jadi silahkan nanti memilih mana, transformation or adaptation, or both, dua-duanya. Karena kita memang sudah ada di dalamnya. Tapi apakah kita tega akan melakukan sesuatu yang memang kurang tepat ini? Tapi apakah kita bisa keluar dari situ? Kan pertanyaan itu. Apakah bisa itu dikomunikasikan? Adaptasi tapi ada warnanya humanisasi. Humanisasi tapi ada warna ekonominya. Kan gitu. Ini pertanyaan besar gitu ya. Bahasanya Jawa itu gini. Ngono ya ngono nih ojo ngono. Ngono. Can you translate ngono ya ojo ngono in English? Yeah. You do, but you don't do. I don't know in English. Yes. Ngono ya aja ngono. Artinya neolib ya nirip, tapi kamu harus ingat, humanisasi itu harus menjadi bagian. Jangan terlalu terjebak ke situ, gitu loh. Peringatan kita kan di situ. Ya orientasinya untuk kecakapan hidup itu okay, to get the money that's okay. Tapi ya, if you get the money jangan untuk dirimu sendiri. You get the money tapi untuk sedekah gitu loh. Kan gitu. Ya. Jangan ngumpulkan untuk dirimu sendiri tapi yang untuk orang lain ya. Mungkin itu to share. To give to the other person kan gitu ya. Oke. Ya, ini saya kira nanti menjadi satu pilihan pendekatan yang akan kita lakukan gitu ya. Jadi it's like a frame how to conduct non-formalization program. Jadi saya mencoba menggambarkan dua akses yang arah ke atas itu ke values in the basic ke lain itu practical skill. Jadi ada dua orientasi itu. There are two orientation in non-formal program. This is one of values, and the other is practical skill. If we emphasize more on practical skill, so the orientation is adaptation. So what most important in this program is the content. Jadi kalau kita fokus on the adaptation, maka fokusnya adalah ke content, ya, ke materi. Jadi materi-materi apa yang perlu kita berikan pada masyarakat? Yang mikir kita, bukan masyarakat. Itu not community, but the programmer that have to plan what the content that should be earned. Ya. Jadi ini yang merencanakan adalah programmer non formal ini. Nah, kalau kita merancang in the content, most on the content, maka yang muncul di situ adalah formal knowledge, practical knowledge. It is the most important. Jadi kalau orang punya ke content, maka formal knowledge itu yang menjadi dasar. Formal knowledge maksudnya adalah teori-teori, konsep ya. Jadi kalau itu berkaitan dengan kewirausahaan ya berarti teori-teori kewirausahaan. Itu kan practical knowledge bagaimana itu diselenggarakan kan itu. Itu. Jadi maka garis putus-putus itu sebenarnya memberikan gambaran seberapa besar ruang yang digunakan yang menguasai di dalam orientasi practical knowledge ini, konten ini. Lalu yang berikutnya kalau kita orientasi ke emansipatory, maka the focus is not on content, but the focus on the context. Yeah. I think it is better if we highlight, yes, if we highlight the concept. The context is most important than content. Jadi kalau kita orientasinya ke organisasi, maka yang dipentingkan adalah konteks, not content. Ya. Maka yang muncul yang menjadi pertimbangan di situ adalah implicit knowledge, terus indigenous knowledge. Implicit knowledge that it means that this is the knowledge that the community member have. They don't realize that they have the knowledge. It is the implicit knowledge. Yeah. Every member of the society have the knowledge, but they don't realize that they have the knowledge. This is implicit knowledge. But another thing that is most important is indigenous knowledge. Every community, every society, they have the original knowledge. That is indigenous knowledge. If we emphasize contact, so we have to take the more deepen what the indigenous knowledge the community has. Jadi ini perspektif yang saya kira perlu kita coba gali gitu ya. Jadi kalau kita fokusnya ke konteks, maka yang kita bangun adalah as a community, not as individual. Ya. Jadi yang kita coba bangun itu bukan individual yang lepas-lepas. Tetapi ini sebagai satu komunitas menjadi satu kesatuan utuh dalam kehidupan itu. It is the whole life of individual, not individuality. Nah, kalau kita ke konteks, maka orientasinya lebih kepada nilai. Karena orientasi nilai itu berarti mengarah pada satu pembebasan, gitu ya. Karena itu yang akan menjadi rambu-rambu kita di dalam menyelenggarakan mensikapi berbagai the problem of our society. Oke, next. So, nah ini. What the relevance of a contact and learning community? Saya menyampaikan ya, kontak itu sama dengan komunitas. As I told before that contact means the whole life. Ini adalah satu keutuhan kehidupan. So contact is the community. So if we want to conduct the learning, the education program, the non-formal education program, so first you have to focus on the community, not individual ANSI. Yeah. Because the community, they have feeling, they have goal, they have bonding, they collaborative, they have trust, and all of the process is natural. All of the process in the community is natural. Jadi dalam kehidupan yang senyatanya itu, mereka punya values, they have values, punya tujuan, they have a goal, dia punya saling percaya di antara anggota, they trust each other, jadi bekerja sama untuk bisa mencapai tujuan yang ada, they ada keikatan, they attach each other, bonding, ada keterikatan antar individu, dan all the process are natural. Jadi semua proses itu adalah natural. Maka berkali-kali saya sampaikan, education is not only for life. Non-formal education is not only for life. But non-formal education life itself. Jadi pendidikan non-formal itu bukan untuk kehidupan saja. Tapi ini bagian tak terpisahkan dari kehidupan. It is education. The real education that is. Jadi pendidikan normalnya itu bukan untuk kehidupan saja, bukan. Untuk mempersiapkan memasukkan kerjaan, tidak. Tidak cukup itu. Tapi pendidikan normal adalah bagian tak terpisahkan dari kehidupan itu sendiri. It is a part of the life. It integral part of the life. It is into education. So our philosopher help the people help themselves and they will help the other. Jadi membantu orang lain untuk bisa membantu dirinya sendiri dan membantu orang lain. Itu adalah filosofi. Jadi tidak hanya berhenti membantu orang lain untuk bisa membantu dirinya sendiri. No. Harus dilanjutkan. Membantu orang lain untuk bisa membantu dirinya sendiri dan membantu orang lain lagi. All of this activity should be done in a community. Jadi harus semuanya komunitas. community mean that there is not only in a society, no, but in every setting, in every situation, we can build the community. Like in online learning, we can build the community with a component like this one. This is what I did in this semester, how to make learning community in online learning. To make the change. What the change? Apa perubahannya? Transform the thinking, to transform the mindset, to transform the frame of reference, to transform habit of mind. Jadi penelitian-ketitilan yang saya lakukan di semester ini adalah bagaimana membentuk untuk membantu mahasiswa merubah mindset mereka, to make the change, to transform the mindset, to transform the habit of mind. Ya. Ini yang perlu dicoba. Karena tidak ada perubahan di dalam mindset, maka kita akan tetap aja di situ posisinya. So the learning community must be based on the characteristic of the community. Because learning is a social process, not individual process. Learning is a social process, not individual process. Learning happen in interaction. There is no interaction, there is no learning. There is no learning, there is no development. So interaction is the key point of the learning. Jadi interaksi itu menjadi kunci dari proses belajar. Tidak ada interaksi, tidak ada proses belajar. Tidak ada proses belajar, tidak terjadi perkembangan. Tidak ada perubahan dalam masyarakat. Dan interaksi itu bisa dibangun di dalam the community. Jadi learning community ini jiwanya ini. It is the soul of the learning community. If the first presenter they explain what the neighborhood learning, itu sebenarnya mencoba untuk ini menghadirkan kembali the natural learning, ya, the natural learning that the community have. But in reality, the natural learning community in West country, there is a miss. It is false. Because the influence of neolib. Nah, di tempat kita, kolektivitas itu masih ada. Di masyarakat barat kan sudah mulai luntur. Sehingga mereka mencoba untuk menghadirkan kembali ini. Nek berat itu kan apa? Belajar dalam apa namanya? Lingkungan tetangga gitu loh. Tempat kita kan di warung itu setiap pagi jam 9 tuh mereka belajar kan. Informasi dari mana-mana datang kan. Betul kan? Iya. Setelah jam 9 habis belanja di warung, nongkrong bareng sambal petan. Ini learning community. Tetapi itu tidak dioptimalkan kan begitu. Warung yang berkali-kali saya sampaikan di kelas, angkringan. This learning community. We have kuliner, angkringan how to say? Angkringan, yeah, this is special term in our community. Angkringan, yes. Can you explain angkringan? Relationship, yes, yes. This is neighborhood learning community gitu. Itu sudah punya semuanya gitu. Tapi kenapa enggak kita manfaatkan gitu loh. This is learning community. This is natural learning. This is natural learning activity. Dan dalam situasi yang natural itu proses akan menjadi lebih interaktif. This is the genuine of learning. Itu yang harus dicoba dibangun. Saya kira itu pentingnya learning community di situ ya. Dalam menjawab we answer the challenge that they have with the big power ya. Kita punya apa namanya tantangan terbesar dari kekuatan neolib itu ya, yang coba menggerus berbagai indigenous knowledge yang kita punya, local wisdom yang kita punya, dari kehidupan kolektif menjadi kehidupan individual, dan kita tidak saling menyapa lagi sekarang di dalam komunitas. Teman-teman yang hidup di perumahan, saya kira tahu persis hidup di rumahnya masing-masing, tidak ada interaksi dengan tetangga, dan seterusnya. It is the effect of neolith. Nah, tinggal kita mau berneolith pria atau mau kembali ke habitat. It is the choice. Ya, saya kira itu karena waktunya ya. Okay, thanks you very much. But I'm so sorry, Gubanat, I explain with Bahasa Indonesia, so you will learn what Bahasa Indonesia is. Yes. So I have to stay here 1 year to fluent in Bahasa Indonesia. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Give applause for Dr. Sugito. Thank you so much for the insightful presentation, Dr. Sugito. I would like to give a summary for Dr. Sugito's presentation. So Dr. Sugito talked about how should the non-formal education face challenges. There are some ideological battles. The two of them are neoliberalism and also commercialism. And some of the mode of approach of non-formal education that Dr. Sugito explained was about adaptation and also transformation. But something that we need to keep in mind is how we can combine adaptation and transformation process. Dr. Sugito also explained about how to conduct non-formal education by using either like focus on the values or practical skills. I think one of like very interesting quote Dr. Sugito gave us was education is only for life, but non-formal education is the life itself. Very insightful and interesting. Yes, we're going to open a Q&A session. Bapak Ibu, if you have any questions for either the speakers, you can, yes, you can raise your hand, or also Bapak Ibu online, you can leave your questions in the chat.
Okay, hello everybody. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Thank you for all the speakers. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Nurul. I'm from the Magister program from non-formal education here. It's my first semester, and this is very good seminar actually for me, especially to learn about the non-formal education. And for the three speakers, it's really great topic actually. And maybe I have a question for the speakers. I think it's also Mr. Simas Tuama is also still here, right? Yeah. Okay, well, first of all, I would love to thank you for the Department of Non-Formal Education for held this seminar, and also for the Mistress of Ceremony that gives opportunity, and the moderator also. Actually, it's very interesting to hear about what Mr. Simas Tuama talking about neighborhood learning, because and also I'm interested about you mentioned about this speed dating that you do also in learning in neighborhood learning, because I did that also in my job, because I'm actually a tour leader, so I'm handling more like foreigners come here, and then we do also the speed dating to know each other very fast. But then through this, I would love to I just know that actually it's not just to know each other, but also we can learn something more through this kind of session of speed dating. The thing is that I want to ask is, how does the community, or how can we give like or Mr. Simas maybe can be give us suggestion how to encourage skill sharing and the knowledge exchange amongst the participants in that event. For example, like when they have the speed dating, sometimes because I know that some people usually very shy and maybe some of them is introverted, so it's hard to just talking, like especially when with new people and in front of the people. So it's very challenging also. Okay, well, because it's kind of like very new also for me to know about like non-formal education. I maybe without I realizing I'm doing the non-formal education, but I just don't know that the term is itself is non-formal education. And then also it's really a great pleasure also for me, for Mr. Gufanat, that finally I can learn and know more about non-formal education in Thailand. It's very interesting, maybe later to know more and to learn more about it also. And of course for Mr. Sugito, this is really what is it I call it? It's very great topic that you talk about the new liberalism without I realize it. Like you just said, like, okay, you did that. Yeah, I just realized that. Yeah, we do that. Obviously, then the thing is how we adapting and how we transform to be what kind of neo-libs that we want to apply in our life. And thank you so much for the what is it? The topic and then the material that given. It's very important. It's really related to me because of non-formal education. You say education is not for life, but non-formal education is the life itself, which is, yeah, I truly agree with that. And thank you so much. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Any more questions for Dr. Siamus Otoma? No? Maybe one more question, sir, before answer. There's actually one question asking how to join the ASEM Research Hub. Right. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the example I gave on the speed dating there was in a very particular context in relation to trying to get a collaborative relationship developed between a young person, a teenager who's probably 15, 16, and an older person maybe in their 80s. And it was just a matter of, you know, creating the scenario where they were introduced and spoke to each other briefly, and then they figured out, you know, in terms of if they could work together and whatnot. So in that context, but we have used it in other contexts as well, where, and I agree, sometimes it might be difficult to get people to chat to each other and so on. But we work very hard at that, trying to bring people into a common space and getting them to talk to people maybe that they haven't spoken to before, and to start exchanging ideas and so on and so forth. And I think that that's critically important in terms of building momentum, getting people to buy into projects, and giving people a sense of ownership. So the one thing I think that's really problematic for us is when people operate in silos. We need to get people to come out of their silos, to talk to each other, to engage with each other. And this is something we work very, very hard on, trying to get people to, you know, not just see the world from where they are, but to try and see the world from where other people are, and to get involved with other people in collaborative projects. So that's really, really important. So we do a lot of different things when we meet as groups to try and get people to engage and to talk to each other. So we do all kinds of these kind of speed dating is one version, but other versions of ways in which people get to talk to each other. In relation to the ASEM Lifelong Learning Hub, I'm very happy and hopeful that more people will get involved from Southeast Asia. and from Indonesia, because the more voices we hear from Asia, the better it is. And I would say that a lot of what's happening in relation to non-formal and informal learning in Southeast Asia is really the cutting edge. It's some really, really exciting and interesting things happening here. So I think if people want to join, that would be really, really good. I would really welcome that. The easiest way to do it is to send us an email, and then we can continue the conversation from there. And the email address is quite simple. It's ASEM, ASEM, hub @ucc.ie. So it's ASEM Lifelong Learning Hub, effectively. So ASEM, hub @ucc.ie. Send us an email and we'll be very happy to chat to you more about it. And our colleague Suwatita in Chulalongkorn is the Southeast Asia coordinator, and we'll include her in the conversation, and because she will be able to give you more information, I suppose, in relation to the context in Southeast Asia. So I hope I answered the two questions.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Any more questions? Anyone, maybe for Mr. Bumbanat or for Dr. Sugito? Thank you so much, Dr. Kotuama. No more questions. So, Ms. Fuji, should we end the Q&A session? So you're instructing me. Bapak Ibu, do you have any questions, or maybe from the online participants? Bapak Ibu, if you have any questions. Oh, for No questions? If there is no more questions, then I think we can end the sessions and the presenting sessions. Yes. Yeah, so by the end of the Q&A session, yes. Okay, we have one more question.
Ya, terima kasih. Saya pakai bahasa Indonesia ya. Ya, perkenalkan saya Rafa dari Magister PLS. Nah, terkait pertanyaan kan kalau di Indonesia sendiri ya, terkait jurusan PLS memang tidak begitu banyak terkait lapangan pekerjaan. Begitupun dalam peran pemerintah dalam segi membuat prioritas atau membuat kebijakan yang sampai saat ini saya rasa masih belum maksimal untuk memfasilitasi lulusan PLS itu sendiri. Bahkan di beberapa tahun kemarin pernah ada wacana untuk penghapusan Dirjen Paudikmas di RUU Sidiknas walaupun tidak jadi. Nah, kira-kira untuk di Thailand sendiri terkait bagaimana lulusan dari program non-formal education sendiri untuk mengisi di jabatan pemerintahan maupun bagaimana peran pemerintah sendiri mendukung atau memberi ruang bagi para pegiat-pegiat non formal. Mungkin itu dari saya. Terima kasih.
Thank you for your questions. The graduate student from the non-formal from the CLC, right? In CLC, we graduate equally the high school basic education. Mostly more than, I think more than 80%, 90%, they have their own work. They are adult student. They have their own work. Just 10% to use the diploma, the certificate from NFV to apply their own work, and allow 2 or 3% go to the university. Just of 2%, but because of in some career you have graduate at least compulsory education. You have to learn where they have to learn the center, but mostly they have their own job. They don't use the certificate to apply the new. Mostly, I think just at 5% to find some job by the after they graduate. It's like a the skill job, like a apply the office, the clerk, something like that. But only 1 or 2% go to the university. Yeah, mostly they have their own job before they study. Yes.
So, for example, they study in the university programs in university, like what kind of job opportunities they will get, and also like
After that, after graduate, undergrad, that. Or in all the in for my example, my department, right? I just have 3 batches. We just opened the bachelor degree at only three batches graduate. 50% be teachers. Yeah, teacher in the school, teacher in the alternative school, even like that. And 50% work with the company as a human resources development, and both work with NGOs. Yeah, but teacher mostly like a not non-formal teacher, but they have to apply we don't have that non-formal education teachers in right now. They apply the others the other side of their own maybe from the primary school or the the secondary school. Yes, yes.
Dijelaskan dengan bahasa Indonesia. Ya, jadi kebanyakan kalau untuk dari non formal education itu kalau di Thailand, kalau untuk yang misalnya mungkin sarjana ya, mereka jadinya guru. Kemudian mungkin bekerja di beberapa kayak di PKBM dan juga di NGO. Ya, itu sih kebanyakan. Karena memang mereka kalau di sana tuh mungkin belum banyak ya. Kalau di sana mungkin program non formalnya itu masih belum. Kalau di kita kan banyak ya muridnya. Kalau di sana belum banyak.
Terima kasih.
You're very welcome. Any more questions? Yes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, nama saya Arum. Saya mau menanyakan ke Bapak saya, ke Bapak Sugito, terkait presentasi yang tadi Bapak sampaikan di beberapa PowerPoint tadi, lebih kepada education proses tadi, Bapak. Kalau menurut Bapak sendiri, mana sih yang harus kita lebih menjadikan acuan dominan untuk pendidikan non formal sendiri antara konten ataupun konteks seperti itu. Lalu dari aspek community tadi kan di di slide selanjutnya Bapak itu kan ada 6 aspek yang Bapak sampaikan. Nah, ketika salah satu aspeknya zong atau mungkin menjadi hambatan untuk aspek lainnya, menurut Bapak bagaimana cara menyeimbangkannya sehingga bisa sama-sama berjalan? Ngoten Bapak, matur numbah nuwun.
Okay, thank you, Matur nuwun. Terima kasih. Yes. Yes, I will answer with bahasa Indonesia. I'm so sorry. Yes. In my point of view, that with the approach that most relevant. Jadi pendekatan mana yang paling tepat di antara dua pendekatan, adaptation and transformation? I will choose transformation because we make something that can change the society, change the community. Jadi mungkin begini, kalau kita milihnya we choose transformation, itu konten akan mengikuti. Karena transformasi itu menjadi langkah awal untuk membuka cakrawala, untuk membuka point of view dari masyarakat, gitu kan. Dari situ baru nanti akan bergulir, dia akan mencari konten. Jadi kalau sudah menemukan kebutuhannya apa, secara otomatis masyarakat atau kelompok sasaran itu akan mencari apa yang mereka butuhkan. Sehingga perubahan-perubahan di dalam cara pandang itulah yang sebenarnya dicoba untuk dikembangkan. Tetapi kalau pada tataran practical knowledge, maka masyarakat tidak akan berubah di dalam cara pandangnya. Tetap aja ikut neolib gitu aja. Dan kita tahu bahwa neolib selalu mengarah pada perubahan-perubahan yang tidak jauh lebih baik dari nilai yang kita yakini, our belief, ya. Karena itu tidak akan berkaitan dengan humanisasi, ya. Tapi lebih banyak pada orientasinya pada urusan-urusan keduniaan. Jadi kalau sudah ini menurut Ustadz Hirianto itu kalau mikir dunia terus itu kan hakikat kehidupan kan menjadi hilang. Gitu loh. Tapi kalau humanisasi ini mungkin teman-teman yang di S2 sudah kaji itu. Jadi sekarang itu yang hilang, that we lost, it is the belonging, self belonging, community belong, and humanism belonging. Jadi kita sudah kehilangan rasa memiliki diri kita sendiri. kita sudah kehilangan rasa memiliki keluarga. Kita sudah kehilangan rasa memiliki masyarakat. Kita sudah kehilangan rasa memiliki kehidupan ini. Itu yang terjadi. Oleh karena itu harus ditumbuhkan dulu. We have to change the point of view of the community. Baru nanti mereka diajak untuk mengisi kebutuhan-kebutuhannya apa. Nah, kita bergerak ke konten. Gitu. Jadi konten tetap dipentingkan, tetapi kita harus berangkat dari transformasi dulu. Supaya ada perubahan. Sebab kalau kita hanya adaptasi, itu tidak ada perubahan. Karena kita hanya mengikut saja. Kita just a follower, not a leader. If we ask you, you choose a leader or follower? Or nothing. Kan gitu. A leader. A leader can be change. But the follower, there is no change. Jadi kalau hanya sebatas follower itu tidak akan ada perubahan apapun. But a leader, you have opportunity to make the change of the community of the life. Jadi saya kira itu. Lalu yang terkait dengan komponen-komponen ini hanya sebagian. You can explore. You can add the another factor that it is related to the community. Jadi ini yang secara apa namanya? It is embedded in our community. It is embedded in our life. This is jadi pekat gitu ya. Jadi kalau hilang, ya mungkin, maybe like bonding or trust. Itu kemungkinan itu sudah berkurang, decrease. In some society, this lost because the power of neolib. Sehingga trust is other is not really life in a real community. Saling curiga gitu aja. Yang ada sekarang itu ilmu kebatinan. Satu orang batin yang lain. Jadi ilmu kebatinan saling batin gitu ya. Curiga terus. It is not trust. Dan itu yang sudah terjadi. Ya. Karena mementingkan kehidupan diri sendiri. Sehingga menurut saya memang ini harus, kalau memang itu hilang, maka harus dihidupkan kembali, gitu ya, based on the other factor. But the most important is you have to create the learning process in the natural way. So if we conduct the learning process in not in a natural way, it is not effective. Yeah. It cannot answer the problem of the society. Jadi mungkin itu ya. Jadi kalau kita tidak menyelenggarakan proses pendidikan itu secara natural, itu tidak akan bisa menjawab kebutuhan-kebutuhan the real problem of the society. Kalau saya melihat ke begitu, ya. Mudah-mudahan bisa menjawab gitu ya. Kalau tidak menjawab ya besok kalau di kelas saya ikut aja.
Thank you for the questions. All right, I think that was the last questions. So I will end the Q&A session, and Bapak Ibu participants, fellow scholars, and that concludes the webinar for today. Thank you for sharing with us, Dr. Sema Sautuama, Dr. Bumparat Boribun, and Dr. Sugito. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. And I hope with this webinar, the webinar will give you new and compelling knowledge and light up your spirit to learn more about non-formal education. Thank you for having me as your moderator today. And now I give the sessions back to the MC.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Prof. Tuama. Thank you, Dr. Gumparmat, and thank you, Dr. Segito, and Miss Letizia Azarin. It was very inspiring webinar. Well, we move to the next agenda. The next agenda is giving souvenir. And as non-formal education department, we would like to present of souvenir of appreciation to Dr. Gumpamat and Dr. Sogito. And to present the souvenir, I kindly invite Professor Ento Tani for giving souvenir to Dr. Gumpamat, and Dr. Puji for giving to Dr. Sugito. Sekarang saya bilang ibu sekarang. And I would like to ask Prof. Tuama to stay on Zoom meeting because we are going to take picture after this session. Thank you, Prof. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, especially participants on Zoom, kindly to turn on camera because we are gonna take screenshot. Once again, I'm asking to kindly turn on camera because we are gonna take a screenshot. Sudah ditutup. Sudah ditutup. Okay. Thanks for all of your participants on Zoom, and especially for Professor Tuama, and all of you can leave the Zoom now. Thanks for coming and participating.
Thank you so much, Maximus.
Ulangi lagi. Oke.